guys, welcome. This is Chris Cox here for another guitar lesson. Today we're going to cover something off the very first Led Zeppelin album. This is called Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. And this tune is in standard tuning if you want to play along with the record or the lesson. Guys, if you like what I do, please hit that red subscribe button, throw me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment. All those things will help me grow my channel, and then I in turn can offer more lessons to you guys. So let's get started. So this song is, you're going to be playing the A minor chord a lot in this song and playing lots of melodies around that chord. Okay, and everything, there's not a whole lot, there is some strumming parts, but there's a lot of arpeggiated parts. So, first part, we're doing a open A, and then you're just dragging your pick down the A minor chord and then hitting the open high E. So the A minor chord is going to be second fret of the D, second fret of the G, first fret of the B, open A, and open high E. So we have this much so far, and then we repeat back A, D, G, B. So, all right, we're going to switch up. So if you notice, we're keeping that first finger anchored on the first fret of the B string. The only thing that's changed really is we're going to add the third fret of the low E and the third fret of the B. So we have low E, D, G, B. And repeat that again, but this time we're going to lift the pinky finger up. Okay, then we're going to switch. Second finger is going to go on the second fret of the low E. Third finger will be on the second fret of the G. Pinky finger is going to be back on that D note on the third fret of the B. We have you playing E, D, G, B, and then you're going to lift up the pinky and play that C note again. Okay, and then we do an F chord, but we're going to leave the high E open, so it's just third fret of the D, second fret of the G, first fret of the B, open high E. And then we're going to shift up here and play this. So this is going to be second fret of the D, first fret of the G, and then you're playing at low E, D, G, B. All together slowly. So if you have that part down, that is a real common theme throughout the entire song. So once you get that down, the rest should come pretty easy. But there, Page does a lot of little changes, just subtle changes throughout the whole song. It took me a while to put them to memory, to be honest with you, because sometimes there would just be a single note change in there, which really added some really interesting colors to the song and dynamics. So we come back to the A minor, but this time we're adding this note. A G note on the high E and an open G note, so we're playing that melody now. So it's A, D, G, high E, third fret. Repeat this again. So we go back to what we did before, grab up here on the third fret, but we're still going to be playing that same melody. Nothing changes there except we put our third finger here on the third fret of the low E, still playing the same melody. Low E, D, G, high E, low E, D, G, high E. Same thing as before, we're going to shift up to here. We played that earlier, to the F. So let's play what we have all together. verse. So I should mention too, when you're playing these melodies, you're letting that ring, so we're letting that ring as long as possible. Let that high E ring. Let that D note ring before you change if you can. So okay, so if we've learned all that, then we have the next 3 parts before we go to another chord change. So basically, you're gonna, after you go through this, you're gonna play this through, I believe, 4 times. So we go, nothing changes. Repeats again. So once we go through that, on the 4th time through, we're switching up to here. So we're going to bar the first finger across all the strings on the 1st fret. We're going to have the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D. Middle finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the G. Pinky finger is going to be on the D note of the 3rd fret of the 3rd fret of the B string. So we have, and I'll lift up. So playing low E, D, G, B. Then on the 2nd time, lift up your pinky finger. Then we're going to do this. So this is going to be 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. 1st finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the G string. Pinky finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B string. We hit a low E. So that's E, D, G, B, and then lift up the pinky. Repeat again. And then when we come back out of that, we're going to do, and that's going to be, we're going to leave out that, you know how we usually go back to the A minor, we're going to leave that note open. So we're doing A, D, G, open, high E. That goes down 2 times. Then you're going to go back to this melody. Same as we did before. Same as we did in the beginning. Then we do this little strumming pattern. So we are basically doing that main strumming pattern on the A minor. So it's like a, so it's down, down, and a fast down up stroke. So it's going to shift all the way down here. We're going to have 2nd finger and 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the D and G string. We're going to have our 1st finger on the 8th fret of the B. We're going to play A, D, G, B, and high E. So the only thing that changes with your finger position here is you're just going to move this shape down 2 frets. So that's going to be 7th fret of the D and G, 6th fret of the B. So we have down strokes. We're going back through, I guess this will be considered back into the second verse of the song, we're going to do just like we did before when we come back out of the these chords. When we played this, we did this. So when we come down to this, oops, we're going to go. So again, we're back to that kind of A minor chord, but we're leaving off the C note. So we're doing A, D, G, high E. We play that twice. And you kind of see the picking pattern. I'm doing down, 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 up. So on that very last note, I'm coming up. Everything else is down. We go to here. So instead of grabbing that high E like that in the first round, we're just going to the D. Same as we did before. We shift, go to the F. Now, for the next 3 passes through, we're doing this melody. Played all this before. Again. Back to what we did before. Grab that high E that time. We're just going to go back to that B again. Play that melody. Back to that chord strumming. Okay, at this point, we're going to go on to the bridge, and then we'll do the rhythm guitar part underneath the solo. So the bridge sounds like this. Lick's going to repeat 4 times, so we go. So you're starting here with the first finger on the 2nd fret of the D, 3rd finger's on the 4th fret of the G, and we're sliding that B note from the 4th fret to the G. We go, and then we're hitting the open A string again. Then we're sliding down and grabbing the 7th fret of the D, 9th fret of the G, 8th fret of the B. So we kind of slide. So right before I slide, I'm hitting this note, and I'm not sitting on this note. The 3rd fret of the G. I'm sliding it on down because it won't sound very good if you sit on it. So it's oops. Back to the low of the A string. So strike this note, you get it on down here to this chord, and then we're going to switch from 2nd finger on the 7th fret, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D and G, and have your pinky finger on the 8th fret of the B. So it's just A, D, G, B, A, D, G, B, pick up on the pinky finger. So, oops, why I keep hitting that? Okay, so we're going to go over what's going on the rhythm guitar part underneath the guitar solo, the middle guitar solo that is. That's the only part of the solo I'm going to cover in this lesson. So, we start off like we had before. Play that, A, D, G, open high E, and then we are fretting on the 2nd fret of the D and G. We did that in the previous. We did this before, all the same. first opening riff. Now this part we're going to add the G, high on the high E, and the open high E. So we got, so just like we had done before, but we're going, so that's the melody, and then we're going to shift back. Played earlier. Here's the change. So you're playing the open A, second fret of the G, first fret of the B, third fret of the high E. Then we're going to do, and that's going to be second fret of the G, bar our finger across the first fret of the B and high E. We're going to do it G note here, and then we're going to play the open G, open B, and then we're going to fret on the first fret of the high E. And we're going to repeat that again, but we're going to lift up the first finger. So we have this so far. We're going to grab here, F sharp note on the second fret of the low E and do this. Now we're going to have to bar all 6 strings here. We're going to have our third finger on the fourth fret of the D, pinky finger is going to be on the fifth fret of the B string. We have low E, D, G, B, and then repeat that again, but lift the pinky. Or excuse me. Lift the pinky. Let's try that again. That's what I wanted to do. So, low E, D, G, B, and then we'll play that again, but instead of playing this E note on the 5th fret, we're going to play the D note on the 3rd fret. And then we're going to go back to the F. So it's okay, so we play that. Now right after that we're going to go to the A minor. So play that a couple times, go back to what we've done before. It's actually different, playing a different melody. See, I'm having to remember back, lots of changes in this. So you're playing down A, D, G, B, A minor chord, play that again. Put your third finger on the low E, so this is going to be 3rd fret of the low E, and play the same. So it's E, D, G, B, E, D, G, B. Go up here. And that's going to be 2nd fret of the low E, open D, G, B. So it'll sound like this all together. So again, it's all things we had played before in earlier parts of the song. We just moved it around a little bit. Backwards. It's all the open strings first, and then you're going to fret on the 1st fret of the high E. So it's this. So the melody changes. Before it was now this time. So the chord's the same, it's just that one single note melody changes. We go back to what we've learned before. Again, Then we're doing a that comes in several times during the very, I'd say from the guitar solo on, you're going to play the chord progression quite a few times. And I should note, guys, if I get some of these parts just slightly out of order, forgive me. This is a long song, a lot of different changes, so I'm trying to keep it in order as best I can. But if I might get it a little bit out of order, but I promise you the notes are there. So we're starting with basically back to that E minor. And that's just down, 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 down. So now we're going to grab this G note on the 3rd fret of the low E, but we're going to let that 3rd finger kind of dampen that A string, because we don't want to play the A string, but the fingers stay the same. So the only thing is changing here is we're lifting up here from the 2nd fret of the G, and we're going to grab this low G. So you're strumming everything except we're dampening the A string. Now, this is tricky. You're going to go playing basically a D chord. 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, 3rd fret of the high E, but we're going to hit the 2nd fret of the low E, and we're going to dampen. We're not going to fret the A string. We're going to dampen it, so it's so you're playing every string except you're going to dampen the A string. So you're going to fret that with your thumb over the neck, and then we're going to F. So this is F major, E major. So now before we've been playing everything with that high E open. With this, we're going to actually fret, the F note on the high E. So it's 3rd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G. Bar your finger across the 1st fret of the B and C, and then E majors. And that's just open E, 2nd fret of the B. 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, 1st fret of the G string, and then everything else, the B and high is open. So let's get that strumming part again. So it's just let's fretted that, sorry. Better. That's going to go through 4 times. After the 4th time through, we're going back and forth from the F chord, the F major chord, to the E major chord. Play that again. And then we go back to this familiar riff. The next ending parts, this is basically, I guess, the final, 4th, 5th, maybe even 6 verses in the song. It's a long song. So there's really no changes except at the very, very end. So we're playing everything the same that we had played before, but we're changing up the order of the notes just a little bit. So after we come back out of we go back into this. If you notice, every time we go out of the strumming, we play this lick. So about every single time we go from a strumming part and we come back into that other verse, all familiar. This time we're going to go back to that, what we played underneath the guitar solo. So it's, remember this part? Then we go. Stuff we went over earlier repeats again the same way. changes. Play everything open. Then grab the first fret of the high E. So after we went through this chord progression 4 times, we're basically at the end of the song. Okay, this is where basically there's going to be this nice kind of slow ending with lots of sustained chords. The first one's going to be an F major, so you're again barring across the first fret of all the strings. You're going to have your third finger on the second fret of the A string, pinky fingers on the third fret of the D string, middle fingers on the second fret of the G. Just going to play that through. We're going to shift down here. Basically, we're going to be playing open E, third fingers on the 7th fret of the A, middle fingers on the 6th fret of the D, pinky fingers on the 7th fret of the G, first fingers on the 5th fret of the B, and then high E. Go back again. Go back here. And then we play this riff. Sorry, I flubbed that last part there. So once we're basically, this is the very, very tail end of the song. We're doing so this is going to be, you're going to use hybrid picking with this. So you're going to be using your middle finger and third finger to pluck these higher melodies. So we're doing, that's going to be first finger on the 4th fret of the A. You're going to have third finger and pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B and high E. And basically that's the melody. You're going to play that with these middle and ring finger. Now we're going to shift down. Let's play it one more time. Hit the A, B, and high E together. Let them ring. And shift down. So we're going to keep the pinky finger is going to remain here on the 5th fret of the high E. We're going to have the middle finger on the 4th fret of the B. First finger's on the 3rd fret. Pluck all those strings again. So we're doing, B, B, high, E. Shift again, still keeping that pinky finger on the 5th fret. Again, fretting the A, B, and high E. Big stretch. Everything stays the same down here, but we're moving the first finger up to here. So all together. Then we play this melody. So you're going to have your first finger here on the 2nd fret of the D. Pinky finger's going to be the 5th fret of the G. We're playing open A, D, G, and B. So we have, and that's going to be open A, 2nd fret of the G, 1st fret of the B, open E, and we're just going back and forth. Oops, play that again. Last time we go, I'm going to play that last A major chord. So what I'm doing here is barring across the 2nd fret of the D, G, B, and high E string. just anchoring there and playing the open A, and then I'm going to bar across the 5th fret of the B and high E and get that. So there's a lot of guitar solos throughout this song. I'm only going to show the very middle guitar solo. There's lots of places that the Page does some really cool leads, but the first one we're doing a very kind of Spanish flamenco kind of sound to me. So we're doing a. So when I do that little rake, I'm not actually fretting anything there, but it kind of just gives a little. Adds a little dynamics to the lick other than just playing. Hear the difference there? So we're working on the 5th fret of the B, 6th fret of the B, and 8th fret. So we have, that's the first part, so that's 5th, 5, 6, 8, back to 6. And then you're doing a hammer-on pull-off from 6 to 5. So then grabbing the 7th fret of the G, back to the G, then a hammer-on pull-off from the 5 to the 7 on the G. The 2nd fret of the G, and then we do a, and that's just 2nd fret of the G, 1st fret of the E or B, and then we play that lick. So that's just gonna be 2nd fret of the G, open B, 1st fret of the B, 3rd fret of the B, open high E. We'll play that lick. So that's just going to be 2nd fret of the G, open B, 1st fret of the B, 3rd fret of the B, open high E. Let's play what we have so far. Then we have this cool little run there. So we have, once we get to this note, so basically we're doing a hammer-on pull-off there. So we're doing, and that's going to be starting on the 1st fret of the B to the 3rd fret of the B. So we're doing the hammer-on here, pull off to the 1st fret of the B, and then open. So and then that's going to be 2nd fret of the G, open B string. So we have so hammer on, pull off here, pull off, 2nd fret of the G, open B, and then it's going to be 3rd fret of the D, open G. That's going to be a pull off from 3rd of the D to the 2nd of the D to open. This is 3rd fret of the A, open D, and then that's going to be 1st fret of the A string to the 3rd fret, and then pulling off. So you're pulling off to the 1st, and then to the open, just like you did on the B string earlier. So we have